When I first enrolled, I left home and I was an 18-year-old boy, felt fairly educated, thought I was wise, had seen a lot, been through a lot for an 18-year-old, and I was in love. I was in love with a girl who wanted to go to Colorado State University, so we went to Colorado State University. And that's my first point. No, I'm just playing. I'm not going to talk about relationships. I don't know that much. But Fort Collins was amazing. Colorado State was beautiful. Downtown area was, there was restaurants, events happening all the time. We had a beautiful rec center, one of the top in the country. You had the mountains right behind it. There was a Horsetooth Reservoir, like 10, 15-minute drive. It was beautiful. Landscape was amazing. Campus was awesome. And our football team at the time was pretty good. They were top 25 in the nation. So we would go to the football games, and I love football. I was really excited to at least go. If I couldn't play anymore, I wanted to at least go. We go, and the environment was electric. The team was good, so it was fun to watch. But for me, it was uncomfortable. I was watching a game that I loved to play from like 50 rows up, some random face in the stands, and it was uncomfortable sitting there watching the games. I hated it. Towards the end of the season, I didn't even want to go anymore. And when the end of the season came, I decided that I was going to walk on and I was going to play football for Colorado State University. I went into the coach's office several times, probably so many times that the only reason he finally acknowledged me was because he was tired of having me in there. I went in there and I was like, hey, can I get a tryout? Can I get some? Can I be a part of the team, walk on, whatever it is? He was like, look, okay, I'm tired of you coming in here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a tryout like the week before spring break, maybe after spring break. I said, bet. So I went back to my room. He told me I had to fill out the clearinghouse stuff, get all the paperwork done, get everything done, pay the fee, whatever it was. So I went directly to my dorm room, went online, filled all the paperwork out, got my transcripts, paid the money, did everything I had to do to get the ball rolling. I wasn't playing with this. Like, I really wanted to play for them. So what was next? I had to get back in shape. I was down like 20 pounds, like 150. I'm already kind of skinny, but I was like a twig. I was just in there playing basketball all the time, and I had to get back into shape. So when I was getting back into shape, no disrespect, but if you've ever worked out for sport or competition and worked out for your health, is completely different games. So what I did was I knew a couple of the guys on the team, so I got their workout schedule for the spring, took some janky photos on my iPad, printed them all out, and put them into a binder. So I had that binder laid out in the rec center. I had my headphones in, my whole suit, whatever, and I'm talking about timed. It was all planned out, it was organized. I was in there working out with a different attitude. And people were looking at me like, well, who is this guy? Like, what are you doing? We're just in here doing biceps. Like, we don't do that in here. You're doing cleans? We don't even have that in here. And if I wasn't working out, in the rec center, I was out in the intramural fields. And in the intramural fields, I would set my cones up, set my ladder up, wind sprints, whatever it was, had my headphones in, bought a $100 weighted vest because I was serious about this. And I'm out there getting it. I'm talking about like dodging people that ain't even there. People walking by like, what is he doing? Like, the intramural fields were set up to where you could just walk through them on your way to campus. So you had people with their backpacks on like, who is he? And the voices in my head were so loud that the people walking by me were judging me so heavily. Like, it was so uncomfortable having people watching me just, who is that guy? You can't play for Colorado State. You're 160 pounds. Like, who do you think you are? And after that, a couple weeks, couple months went on, and I was getting back into shape. Spring break was approaching. So Monday, Tuesday, didn't hear anything from the coaches. Wednesday, Thursday, I'm like, maybe it'll be afterwards. Maybe it'll be after spring break. He said it might be. Friday, sure enough, spring break goes by, didn't hear a word. Came back from spring break, and I went directly into the coach's office. I said, hey, what's up? Like, when's the tryouts? He said, oh, yeah, we had tryouts the week before spring break, but we didn't let you know because you didn't have your clearinghouse stuff done. And the second he said that, I knew he was lying to me, because I knew the last time I went from his office, I went to my room, they charged my account, they did everything. Everything I knew had to be through. I knew he was lying to me. But he said, look, you can come back in the fall, you can try out again when games really matter, yada, 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 whatever. So I walked out and I said, all right. So what next? What was going to happen next? What was I going to do? Was I going to wait till the fall? Was I going to wait and try to play for Colorado State next fall? Like, what was going to happen? And at this point, I didn't know it yet, but I learned a huge life lesson. And that life lesson was, you grow the most when you are uncomfortable. Every time that I was sitting in the stands and I was watching this game and I felt uncomfortable watching, I was growing. Every time I was working out in the field, working out in the rec center, and everybody was looking at me different, looking at me funny, I was uncomfortable, but I was growing. Every time I went and begged the coach to be a part of the team after playing high school football and starting and feeling kind of like the man, but now I was begging to be a part of a team. It was uncomfortable, but I was growing. Every time I went back to tell the guys in the dorms, like, yeah, this is why I'm not a part of the team, because I didn't even get a shot. It was uncomfortable, but I was growing. When you sit in front of the classroom, like in the front row, I'm talking the front row, so you don't have any distractions, and you feel like everyone's staring at the back of your head, it's uncomfortable, but you are growing. Even worse, if you're up here presenting with the PowerPoint, you're reading straight off the PowerPoint, and you don't like public speaking, you're uncomfortable, but you are growing. When you try to do something that you have no idea how to do, I'm talking about like you have no idea, but your family, yourself, your job, somebody's relying on you to figure it out. It's uncomfortable because you have no idea what you're doing, but you're growing. Failure is often one of life's best teachers. As a man, if you go into a marriage, if you ask a woman to marry you and you split your last name, you split your last name because you're a team, right? Why should she just have to take my name? People, at least in this country, are going to judge you. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but you are growing. Or even further, if you come from a predominantly white area, I'm talking about your family's all white, your friends are all white, and you dare have a conversation with someone who is African or black or Mexican or Middle Eastern or Native American or Asian or someone who is different from you, you may start out uncomfortable because it's not what you're used to. It's not the norm, but you are growing. It's not the norm for you. You may start out uncomfortable. You might even start hanging out with them. You may become friends with somebody from a completely different part of the world. I can see faces in here from all over the world. People with completely different stories than my own, than your own. You may start out uncomfortable, but you are growing.